Hello everybody, and thank you for joining me. This is Ciara from Ciara T Designs, and today I have this really fun and vibrant Halloween card to share with you. So let's jump right in. So I'm going to start by cutting down my cardstock. I have a piece of distress watercolor cardstock here, and I'm cutting about 1/4 of an inch off each side. And that's all we're going to do with that. We're not actually going to mat this with anything, which I know for me is a little bit shocking, but I wanted there to be a white outline because I think it helps these vibrant colors pop even more. So I did bring in the Tim Holtz Moon masks, and this is the middle size, I believe. And I already had some pixie spray on the back of this from the last time I used it, so I didn't have to worry about trying to make it adhesive. I was able to just stick it kind of on that top corner to give me that moon. And then I brought in 3 different colors of mica spray. I have Hocus, Pocus, Jack-o'-lantern, and Specimen. And I'm kind of trying to create a bit of a vibrant, spooky background. It could be the sky. I end up covering a bit of it up with the houses, so you don't get to see much of the orange, the jack-o'-lantern, as I would have liked. But I think that it still turns out pretty neat. And I brought Specimen in just to give it a little more of a creepy look. Orange and purple can kind of mix to make a bit of a brown color. So I was okay with that in this instance because I am trying to kind of make more of a spooky, more of an off-colored background. Still looking pretty, but not be as pretty as I generally try for my ink blending and whatnot. So those are kind of the colors I chose for that. And then I was struggling to get the color to move in my spooky moon. So I'm going to try a few different things here. I think I dried it a little bit too much, so I couldn't get the color to move. So I did spray it with some clean, clear water, but that didn't quite get it to move. So then I kind of just put a little bit on with my straw out of the distress sprayer, and that kind of helped some of the color move, which is what you see here. But then I'm going to dry it completely. And then I'm going to bring in some more of that jack-o'-lantern because you're going to lose most of it behind the houses when I put those in. So I thought that I'd really like the moon to be pretty orange colored. So that's kind of what I did. So I brought in the jack-o'-lantern. Then I'm going to bring in some more clean, clear water and kind of just move it around until I'm happy. And then I decided that pouncing it in that color would be even easier to create different layers to this moon. We are going to bring the mask back in so that we can help differentiate the moon from the background here in a second. But this is kind of how I made that moon, and I love how it turned out. Though it wasn't quite what I was aiming for when I started this card, I love how it came together, so I'm okay with it. So then I did put the mask back down, and I'm going to blend over it with some distress ink. I did not bring oxide in for this just because I didn't really want a chalky look. I really wanted a seamless dark look. So you can see how different that looks now that I've added that black outline around the moon. It just kind of makes the moon pop even more with those few white areas that are going to show through. And then any of the areas that were still a bit light in the background had some white showing through. I went over them with that black ink just to kind of tone them back a little bit, though you won't see them when we actually get going here because the houses will cover them. But I didn't want you to be able to see white through that, just the moon, because that would kind of give it a more of a glowing look. And then I brought in, this is Tim Holtz Ghost Town number 2. I don't know if you can still get these dies. If you can, I'll have them linked and listed down below. If you can't, I'll try really hard to find something similar so you can still recreate this if this is something you wanted to make. But any houses would work for this. These houses just happen to be spooky, and they have these really cool clouds, these like wispy clouds that come with that die set. So I really wanted to use them. And you guys know that I'm a big believer in using what you have on hand. That's kind of how I roll. It's a little sad when you buy something that you really enjoy and then you only use it like one time. So I try really hard to use my stuff multiple times because it's an investment, especially the dies. They can be quite pricey. So I do like to reuse my stuff, so that's kind of where I go. And then I did bring in the distress ink again. This is still that black soot. And I just wanted to kind of coat the bottom of this one house. I cut the front house out of black cardstock, but these other 2 pieces, they're out of slate, which is just a dark gray. And I just really wanted to give them a bit of a darker tone on the bottom. And I did that the same for the black house. Just again, you don't really see it on camera, but I can see it in person. So I think that it just adds a little more interest to the die cuts, but you don't need to do this. This is just something that I thought looked kind of neat and kind of toned them a bit more to the spooky side. And I really wanted it to look like someone was home in these houses. I don't know who's home, but I thought that was kind of a neat idea that someone was there, so it would be a little intimidating to walk up to this house because someone's in it. So I chose to bring in 3 colors of Distress Ink minis again, because they'll give you a more vibrant color than the oxides. So I've spiced Marmalade, carved pumpkin, and ripe persimmons, and I'm just kind of rubbing them onto this piece of Neenah Desert Storm cardstock. No, not Desert Storm, sorry. This is Neenah Solar White cardstock. I chose this cardstock just because it's a lesser weight, so that I would have an easier time adhering it to my layers and not having that really change the depth of the layers. So I just chose this cardstock specifically for that. You could use any white cardstock you have, because this isn't about ink blending. This is literally just about getting some color down and some variation to look like someone's home in these houses. And then I did adhere them straight to that piece of cardstock so that I could trim around it and make sure that you could only see those colors through the windows and the doors, so that you don't have this extra white paper kind of hanging off of the die cuts. The reason I did it this way is because if you had die cut the houses again, all the windows would fall out. Now you could absolutely go and try to puzzle piece those pieces back in. I did not want to do that because there's a lot of little pieces, but you absolutely could if that's more your jam than doing this kind of fussy cutting-ish thing that I'm going to do here in a second. But I really didn't want to do that, so I just kind of laid it down, adhered it. Now you're going to see me cut around those images just to create the look like there isn't extra cardstock behind them. There's just somebody home in these houses. So it's crazy. I don't know if you guys have been with my channel for a while, but the 12 Weeks of Christmas series is about to start. It starts on Monday, October 9th. That will give us exactly 12 weeks to Christmas. So that's both exciting and crazy, because that means this year is just flying past. So on Monday, October 9th, we will have our first Christmas card of that series. Thursday after that, you're going to get a Thanksgiving card probably, just because I'm Canadian, if you guys don't know that. So for me, Thanksgiving is actually October 9th. And funnily enough, October 8th, which is, Sunday, is my birthday. So don't get excited. I'll be at work. I'm not doing anything fun for it. I'll be at work. But so Monday will be our first of the Christmas cards for the 12 Weeks of Christmas series. So every Monday, as of this coming Monday, will be a Christmas card. Just because I really like that series. It's a lot of fun to do different variations of Christmas cards. And I do try to mix it up. I try to have some traditional stuff and some more vibrant and, maybe rainbow colored or whatever I feel at the time. So that will be starting on Monday the 9th. And as I said, don't be surprised if there's a Thanksgiving card on Thursday, so a week from when this card's going live, just because Monday for me is actually Thanksgiving. So I will very likely do some kind of, fall leaves or thanks card for that video. But yeah, so if you want to stop by and leave me a comment and wish me a happy birthday, that would be awesome. I'd love it. Because Sunday, October 8th is my birthday, which is pretty exciting. It's exciting for me because birthdays don't bother me. I think they're a fun time to celebrate because, it means that I got to be here and do fun things for another year. And that's, really exciting because not everybody does. So I try really hard to celebrate the things that need to be celebrated. And I think birthdays are one of them. So that is, we'll have to celebrate another day, my husband and I, because I will be at work, as I said. And we'll be celebrating Thanksgiving the next week because we are all off work and my dad will be home for that. So we'll be celebrating Thanksgiving on the 16th instead of on the 9th, just because I have to be at work. But we'll still do a turkey dinner and have a really fun family affair. So that will be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, back to the cards. So the card, you did see me prop up some of the layers with some black foam squares. So for the gray house, the slate house in the background, it's flat. I adhered it flat down to the card paste. And then I brought in the foam squares for the next house, which is the black one, and layered those up. So there's just one layer on that. And then for the front layer of the tombstones, I actually added 2 layers of the foam squares that would be in front of the gray house and only one that would be in front of the black house, because that would make them even, so that they would lay nicely. And then I brought in my Xyron sticker maker to create those clouds that I die cut out of vellum into stickers, so they'd be way easier to stick down. I did not cut enough clouds. I only cut 3 here. There's 3 in this die set, and I cut 3 of them and decided that I didn't have enough of them. So I cut 2 more, and then any area that was kind of hanging off the card, I trimmed and laid down on top of the card as well. So it's going to look like I have way more than 3, I think 5 clouds is what I had in the end. But that's only because you're going to see me here do it in a second. I didn't show you the die cutting because we literally just did that. So you know what we did there. But I cut 2 new ones, ran them through my Xyron, and then we're going to add them. And I'm going to cut any pieces that are hanging off of the edge just to put them back on the card, because I think that these clouds are really neat. So I thought it would be a fun idea to kind of add them in. But no real rhyme or reason. I think this card's just a lot of fun. I did end up, you're going to see me here in a little bit. We're not there yet. But I did end up giving this card some rim lighting. And now it is not exactly how it would look because I wasn't, though I was focused on what areas the moon would light up, it wasn't the end all be all. I just kind of had fun with it because I thought that it brought these die cuts even more to life. If that's something you find intimidating or you don't want to do or you don't enjoy, don't do it. I did it because I thought it would be fun, but if that's not your jam, that's okay. This card looks great without it too. So it's not needed. It's just that I could, so I did. I always want you guys to stop at whatever step you feel is the right step for you. I'm just trying to show you options to what you could add if you wanted to or not. And that's perfectly okay. I think regardless, this card is great the way it is. So you don't need to add these extras. You could stop here and have this card be just a really pretty neat card. Like you don't have to add extra things to it unless you want to. Completely up to you. But I did take it into my trimmer and I did trim off all the excess so that I could have a very nice white border going all the way around. Again, personal preference. You don't have to have a border. You could do a full A2 front. I just chose to do a border because I like that look. And yes, this glue bottle is still going. I had it sitting upside down on my desk because I thought it was empty. It's not quite empty, so I'm still using it. We're almost there, I think, but not quite yet. So I am going to bring in some holographic stars just because, again, like the holographic stars aren't exactly spooky. They're just fun and they make me smile. And at the end of the day, that's really what I'm trying for on the channel. I want you guys to enjoy. I want you to learn something. I want you to try different things if that's what you're into, or, just get ideas or whatever you get from this. Maybe you just want to hang out and listen to me talk. Maybe you enjoy my voice, whatever it is you get, as long as you smile. I think that I was successful in the video. So hopefully that's what you guys take away from this and you really enjoy kind of hanging out with me a couple times a week. And this is where I'm adding that rim lighting. Like it's a little bit hard to see here, and you're going to get a surprise visitor here in about a second. But it's kind of hard to see here. You'll see it better when I hold it up so you can kind of check out what I'm up to. Mist had to come and inspect it. She wasn't sure what I was doing. We don't usually add rim lighting to things. So she had to come and check it out and make sure that it was appropriate for my card. I think she approves because she hangs out here the whole clip. That's why I left this clip in like this so you guys could visit with Mist while she's kind of hanging out on my desk there. She did actually sit down. I think it's right here. No, it's not this part. She sits down there, and at one point she pokes me in the face with her foot. I don't think you guys can see it though because it goes out of the right there. She just lifted her foot and smacked me in the face with it. So I put my face down and she nuzzled my head. It's really ridiculously adorable. She is the sweetest kitten. But yeah, so I just added a little bit of white rim lighting to random areas across the die cuts because I like how it looks. By no means do you need to do this. If you find it intimidating or you don't want to or whatever, that's okay. Don't do it. Do whatever makes you happy. Stop at whatever step you enjoy. But yeah, this is the card I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you'll consider leaving me a like, leaving me a comment, and consider subscribing if you haven't already. I do new videos every Monday and Thursday. And as I said, we will be starting the 12 weeks of Christmas series on Monday. So I will see you guys again very soon. And thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with me. I cannot say how much it means to me. Bye-bye for now, guys.